Hey everybody, welcome to Cedar's Adventure. If you remember in a previous episode I made this train ride around the one side of the park. So today I'm going to make a backstage area for that train, so when it's not in use, maybe in the off season, it will go down this rail here and go into a storage place. So basically what I'm going to do is build like a small backstage area, very similar to what I made in the first maybe 4 episodes of this series, which was a very long time ago. If you haven't seen those, go back to the beginning and check them out. So basically this is very similar to that. I'm just doing a warehouse style using some of the in-game pieces, and this will be hidden, of course, as I try to do, as they are in real life, with rides or trees, etc. You may see that I actually have a star-shaped ride sitting there, which actually doesn't get used in the park. It's there. I thought I wanted to put it there. It looked like a really cool place to put it, but then as the area of the park developed, it didn't really fit in very well. So maybe there's another place it could go if I plan to expand the park somehow, but for what I did, it doesn't really match. So as you've seen by the title of this video, I am going to build a new ride called Rogue Runner. Stole the name kind of from Storm Runner and Rogaroo, and I kind of put them together and made Rogue Runner. And basically the style of the ride was meant to be like Storm Runner from Hershey Park, and it was going to be a very spread out long hydraulic launch coaster. Unfortunately, I just couldn't really get a layout that I was happy with. I made many a ride, then I scrapped that idea, and then I started trying to build a wing coaster because I tried to do one before in the park. So then I was doing the wing coaster, and that didn't really fit in the side of the park either. So then I thought, I know, I'll do like a Gerstlauer Eurofighter, like a big one, maybe similar to Takabisha from Fuji-Q, and that didn't really work out. So then I tried to do a smaller one, and that didn't really work out. So then I ended up just building... No, actually, I tried another thing. I actually thought, okay, I'll build a ride like Maverick from Cedar Point. An Intamin, you know, a fast-lived hill beyond vertical drop kind of thing with lots of inversions and airtime. And I built something, wasn't really happy with it, and it nothing felt like it fitted right. So then I ended up going very basic and simple. And basically I ended up building like a stealth kind of ride from Thorpe Park, a very basic layout, but it fitted really well in the area, so that's what I went for in the end. So if you stick around, I'll get onto that shortly. Right now I'm building some water tanks. Haven't really got like a main purpose for these, apart from they just look kind of cool and kind of backstage looking. So I thought that was cool. I actually built these in the idea... I was building a SeaWorld park, which I haven't put any of those videos online because I didn't finish it, and I don't really plan on finishing it because I got really stuck with the park and how it should flow. Maybe I could show off a few rides from that park, but basically in that park I built a lot of water tanks for the backstage areas, and this was basically like my experiment of the water tank to see how they would be in this park. So moving on to the accelerator coaster. I build it a few times just to try and make it really fit, and then I save it and delete it and move it a little bit because I feel like it's a little bit close to the backstage area. As I said, the star-shaped ride will go. If I kept it there with the roller coaster, it's just the pathways were really small in that area and it just didn't really go very well together. So I'm going to try and support this coaster myself, as I do with all the other ones. I'm not going to finish it today, and I haven't put any screenshots at the end this week because I wanted to kind of complete the coaster first and the area before I show it off to you. Otherwise I will basically show you everything I've done, and that's kind of the park finished, to be honest. There are a few more things to go in the park, and there's a few things I actually realised I forgot that would be in a real park, so I go back through the park and actually add a lot of things in, so that will come in a few weeks' time, I should imagine. So I wanted to do supports on this coaster like stealth and have them all kind of branching out from the floor onto the main top hat section of the ride. and unfortunately the pieces in the game and the custom scenery pieces aren't steep enough, so you can't really get that look at all. I've tried many different ways, I just couldn't really do it. So I ended up going for a support style similar to Accelerator from Not So Very Farm. Right now I'm just building the transfer track using monorail pieces. Something I haven't done yet in the park, thought it'd be quite cool to try that out just to make it look a little bit different. I actually looked at a picture of Stealth from an aerial view to try and work out how to do the transfer track area. I just kind of copied how they did it basically, so it was very similar. And it kind of works out, and I kind of use pictures from that as well to try and figure out where all the catwalks would go. So I actually thought this looked pretty cool once it is done with all the catwalks underneath and everything. It looked real kind of how it would be. So I'm going to let you watch me put in all the catwalks now, and I do start doing some of the custom supports. I do skip quite a lot of footage out because it is quite long and it's, as I said before, it can get boring with all the custom supports. So I'm just going to whiz through that, let you watch me do that, and I shall come back and talk about what I've done later on.
Time I've been to anything like this. And thanks a lot, Bruce, for showing me how rock and roll is jazz.
Bruce? Did you tell her that rock and roll is jazz?
Yeah, sure, that's what I told her. Is there something wrong with that?
Bruce, how square can you get? Rock and roll is not jazz.
So as you've seen before, when I built the Intimidator roller coaster, I built my own kind of footers. I'm doing the same thing here using the vents pieces and some poles sunk into them to make them look like bolts. And as you've just seen, I built the station for the ride, which isn't yet 100% complete, but the general idea is there. I have to theme the queue line and add way more custom supports in, but all that'll be done in the next video. But for now, I'm just gonna do some of the supports down the end of the ride, especially this part here over the water. I wanted to try and create those water big concrete footers, the ones that you could often see them at theme parks. The one I can think of right now in my head is Furious Bacco at Portaventura. It has these big concrete slabs in the water, and then the track support is put onto it. It's kind of like your normal coaster footer, but they're like extremely large to make sure they are secure in the water. So I'm just doing that, and I think they kind of look cool. So as I said earlier, I'm not going to finish this one today. If you come back next week and watch the next video I'll post, I'll finish it up in that video as well as some other areas of the park. But thank you for watching. Please comment, like and subscribe. And be sure to check out my other videos. I am doing a Disneyland at the moment in Parkitect. If you haven't seen those, check them out. And I'll see you next time. Bye.